Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello, hello, hello. Once again, I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call us today at 941-877-1552 or email us at publicityworksagency.com. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Renaissance has had a long history spanning close to 50 years since its formation in 1969. With several personnel changes in the beginning years, the sound of the group eventually matured into a unique blending of folk, rock, and classical music, including the integration of a full symphonic orchestra. Crowning all of this was the sound of the equally unique five-octave voice of Annie Haslam. During the great success in the 70s, the band toured extensively through the world in support of their numerous album releases. Highlights of this era included 3 sold-out concerts at Carnegie Hall with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra and a sold-out concert at the Royal Albert Hall with the Royal Philharmonic and Royal Chorale Society, all which were recorded and released as live albums. The woman whose crystal clear, high-flying soprano vocals earned her worldwide attention as the lead singer of the English classical rock band Renaissance has recently achieved an entirely new level of appreciation as an intuitive painter. Annie is able to tune into people, animal situations, feelings, and places and portray them in her own unique style. On canvas, Annie Haslam's unmistakable world of sound is taken into unique vistas of color and vibration, not unlike the flow of her five-octave voice. Transporting the viewer to other worlds and through inner boundaries is her ultimate goal, bringing healing, serenity, and peace through her work. In 2009, Annie and bandmate Michael Dunford reformed Renaissance. Sadly, Michael passed away in November 2012 and is greatly missed. Annie decided to keep the music alive and kept touring with Renaissance in support of their album, Symphony of Lights. With their musical virtuosity, 5 strong lead voices, newest technological instrumentation, and love for the music, they have created a new sound, taking them into a new age and performing the repertoire with powerful precision across the world. This incarnation of Renaissance is new and different and is nothing short of amazing. Annie Haslam and Renaissance recently released their new DVD entitled A Symphonic Journey and are currently embarked on their Day of the Dreamer tour in support of their new DVD/2-CD set while performing selected U.S. dates this fall. Please welcome English vocalist, songwriter, and painter, best known as the lead singer of progressive rock band Renaissance since 1971, Annie Haslam. Hello, Annie.
Hi, Ray. You wore me out saying all that.
I wore myself out.
Good God. I was thinking, who's that?
Who is that person? I forgot.
Who is that person? Yeah.
Well, welcome back. It's so good to hear your voice again. You're always my favorite interview, my favorite person. Welcome back from Japan, by the way.
Thank you.
How was your trip?
It was pretty amazing, except that when I got to the airport to board the plane, I was refused entry.
You're kidding me.
No, it wasn't allowed on the plane because apparently when one has a green card and goes to Canada, even if you're going through Canada, which we was doing to get, it was like we were stopping there to go on to Tokyo, You have to have a special card called an ETA for anybody that's listening.
Okay.
And my travel agent knew nothing of it, and so I didn't have the card. There was no time to get it. We tried to get it, but the ETA website was down. So I'm standing there thinking, well, the band has still got to go. I've got to find a way of getting there on my own. God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so I did it. I had 20 minutes to get to the gates and get a United non-stop flight, which was good, but I had to pay for another ticket. So it was kind of a weird start to it. But we've been to Japan before, where the last time was 8 years ago, and it was fabulous. It's just that the jet lag is is crazy, and it's like going to another planet.
Yeah,
I've always thought I'm from another planet. I think we're all from different planets, to be honest. And I paint them, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's just so very different there, and the audiences are very quiet usually until the very, very end. But they were quite vibrant, actually, from what I remember the last time, particularly with our new songs as well, like Symphony of Light, which is the one I wrote about Leonardo da Vinci. They just went crazy over it, and it was great. We got there. We had a day off. I did get there in time. A day off. My day off was signing autographs in a record store. And trying to stay awake, the jet lag, but it was. I can't believe it went so quickly. I'm back, and it feels sometimes when you do something. We did it. 4 days we were there. That's all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a video that you did with a robot. You were playing with a Japanese robot. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's me playing, and there's that little thing's advertising the currency place. I was changing some money. I was going, oh hello, Well,
I'm glad the band is traveling the world again. It's nice to see you guys out there.
It is. It's not easy when it's a 6-piece band, and we're what they call a heritage band. So, which is in a way is a good thing. It's a very nice thing to be called, but. There's so many bands out there working now, doing live work, and there's a lot of competition, I guess. But the thing is, with this band, there's still nothing like it.
Oh, it's a wonderful band. The musicians
There's nothing
are
like the music. Yeah. There's nothing like it. Even when we did Grandinale Vento, that was the one we did in 2012 before Mickey passed away, and. We called it. We changed it to Symphony of Lights about 6 months later when it was a distribution company took it over and wanted bonus tracks, etc., like they do when you put something out, and it goes out further into the world. With that album, when we did Grandinale, the song Grandinale Vento and Symphony of Light and Mystic and the Muse, they went down a storm. And the first time we played them, it was like we're standing ovation, And so we really felt that we'd kind of touched something from the past, which is what we wanted to do. We wanted to gather up what we had, that magic that we had. Because you never have the exact magic, because you don't have the 5 people that were in the band at that time who were brilliant, And it still amazes me to think that, we did all the albums that we did, even when we did Scheherazade on stage, there were only 4 musicians playing that music, because all I did was play a tambourine, maracas. And it's amazing. You hear it and you think, whoa, how did they do it? But now, because we've got 2 keyboard players, it makes a lot of difference to have keyboards that sound like the real thing, It's wonderful. And I don't get tired of performing the songs. And of course, last fall, we got to do 4 shows with an orchestra that we put together ourselves with the help of Brave Tessa, who's my partner in the band. He's a brilliant guy. He's RMD. He's a brilliant keyboard player. I've written a lot of songs with him. A very clever man. And he, through all the musicians he knew from New Jersey and New York, we put the 10-piece orchestra together. And these guys playing, like New York Philharmonic and all big orchestras, they're fabulous. And that was just an amazing experience. And it was 40 years last year to when we played at the Albert Hall the last time we played with an orchestra.
That's
amazing. We did
it
40 years was last year. That was 40 years to the day. Not to the day, but close. And it was, and the other thing was that I had my paintings behind us on a screen behind the orchestra, 24 foot by 12 foot. I didn't paint those. I painted them small and we had them enlarged. Somebody said,
I was wondering, how did you have the time to paint those,
God, this woman
big
said,
backdrops?
Hey, how did you do it? I just said it was easy. I got the canvases are 12 inches by 24 inches. Got a really good camera, and that's how it worked. But that was amazing because I paint songs now as well, and I had a painting for each song behind us. It was amazing. It was incredible. Apart from, playing with an orchestra, it was two giant dreams come true.
I love the DVD. It's amazing. I love it. And the DVD itself, the cover is your painting, right, as well?
Yeah, that's Ashes Are Burning, yeah. And actually, I had the dress I wore in the DVD, I hadn't, because I'd only just done the painting for Ashes Are Burning, so I hadn't had a dress made at that point. But the dress I was wearing was the painting Mystic and the Muse. But I'm wearing that now. I had that made into a silk dress that goes underneath that, like kind of Victorian velvet riding jacket kind of thing. But yeah, I'm full of stuff. It's frustrating in a way, It's like I'm doing too much.
You are doing a lot.
I've got too much in my mind all the time. I'm so stupid.
But last time we talked, you told me your dream was to wear your art.
Yeah, I'm wearing it now. Yeah. Yep.
And not only that, I noticed Rave Tassar's tie. Was that you also?
You know what? That was a tie you already had.
Oh, it looked like your painting.
It did. I know. He said, you know what? I think I've got a tie that's similar to yours. Amazing.
That's funny.
Yep.
How about Mark's guitar? Was that your painting?
That's actually it's painted. It was made by a local Lutheran called Bob Cummins, Bill Cummins, who's down in Pennsylvania, for a friend of mine, Bob Miles, who's a jazz guitarist, and he had one of the only guitar shows on I think it was Comcast or something, where he had all the Steve Howe and people like that on there, and he. They commissioned me to paint that for Bob, and then when we did the tour and we started to do Ashes Are Burning again, I said to Bob, I said, do you think we could borrow the guitar? Unfortunately, though, in the DVD, and when I was editing it, I nearly had a heart attack because one of the cameras went down, and
really?
At the beginning of Mark's solo, you probably might have noticed that. At the end. But the thing is, the camera is on Ray, but then it's on me, like, clapping and everything and smiling like crazy, and I wasn't playing the guitar solo, though. Because they had no more footage. The camera went down that was on the, and then it came back on later on. It was like, oh, God, But that's real life, isn't it? So
we're getting the real scoop here.
The story of the guitar, God. And I've actually made I've made some scarves as well, silk scarves out of Ashes Are Burning, and I'm going to be putting them on my website. They came out absolutely gorgeous. So it's I'm not going to do many more things like that, but because it's expensive to do that, But it came out good, and it's unique, and it's. Yeah, but that's another dream come true, is to wear my art and wear it on the stage.
It reminds me of the Beatles when they did the cartoon, and everywhere they went, there was this like psychedelic art following them everywhere. That's what's happening with you. Everywhere you go, your paintings are, your artwork is following you everywhere you go.
Yeah, and I love it. I can't explain it. And when I paint, I just I don't think about anything. It's really odd, except if somebody wants a pet portrait, then what I do is I look at the picture of the pet and I have it sitting in front of me, and that's all I need. And then and everybody says I get it. I don't know if you've seen any of the pet portraits I've done, because the backgrounds are completely surreal, and like these animals are like out in space, or It's when people say, "Can you paint this?" and it's a black cat. When I first got my 2 black cats, I thought, "Oh God, how am I going to put anything in 2 black cats?" You know, because they were jet black, and that's all I saw was 2 jet black blobs, you know, with 4 eyes. But I made it work, and it always seems to work. I love painting. It's and I had an art show a couple of weeks ago in Iberia. It's a place. I don't know if you knew New Hope, Pennsylvania. It's a gorgeous place on the river. Which river would that be? The Schuylkill or Anyway, it goes through New Hope, and it was Labor Day weekend, and I worked really hard to get these little paintings done, because I do these 4x6 inch paintings, and they're affordable, and they're all just completely different. And I always do well days, and it's a great day. Only one person came.
Really? You're kidding me?
Yeah, because it was the really, really hot day. It was a Labor Day weekend, and New Hope was empty because everybody had gone down to the shore.
Yeah.
But
I'm very familiar with your area. I've been to Bucks County many, many times.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's kind of English in a way, and it's got an English look. But I'm doing the art. We're doing another opening this coming Saturday, so. Oh, good. So we're going to have another go at it. Yeah.
Well, this is how well I know your paintings. Number 1, your pet portraits. My favorite's Louis.
Gosh.
Is Louis is he a sheepdog, a Shetland sheepdog?
I think it looks like a regular, the black and white, not the sheepdog, the collie, the border collie, I think.
The border collie. I love his tongue.
I think it's a border collie. Yeah, something like. Well, you were close. It's a dog.
It's a dog.
It was a dog, yeah. But
I love that. I love that painting. I'm going to end up buying one of your paintings. I know.
Oh,
for
good.
Sure. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful, really. I love it as much as I love singing. And you know, when I come off the road and when I can't hit the notes anymore, which I don't know, it's our 50th anniversary next year, and
really?
we are planning. We're working on a European tour right now. And,
great.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's like, how much longer can I do it? You know what I mean? I can't think, well, let's do another tour here and another tour there. And I'm thinking, will I be able to walk then? You know? You know? But I don't look at it like that. You know, I just I enjoy it. The Japan thing was tiring, though, because it was started off with you know, an upset that kind of threw me a bit, but I got on the plane and I did. As long
as your voice.
Sorry.
As long as your voice holds up, you can keep going. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I cringe when people go on stage and they can't hit notes and they change the songs and, you know, to suit the change. They sing down here and so they're up there. You know. But it was something I didn't know until somebody did an interview with me like about a year ago. They said, well, your voice never dropped, did it? I said, what do you mean my voice never dropped? And apparently women's voices drop. They get lower. Did you know that?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, not everybody, obviously. My mother had a high voice when she was older, you know. Mm-hmm. And it never changed. Her voice never changed. But I never knew that. She said, yeah, and that's why probably some singers do sing differently, because their voices dropped. Or it could be the drugs and alcohol or whatever. I didn't do any of that, you know. Well, not much. I didn't. I wasn't, you know, and our band was really a wine champagne band. Yeah.
Very classy.
Yes.
Well, you got some tour dates coming up again. November 8th, you'll be at the Kent Stage in Ohio.
Yes.
In Ohio. Yeah. You'll be in Buffalo on the 9th. Mm-hmm. You'll be in New York at the YMCA Bolton Center for the Performing Arts.
That's a Performing Arts Center, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you'll be back in my hometown in Baltimore on November 15th, and my cousin Renee will be at that show.
Wonderful.
Yep, she'll be up front. She spent the best tickets in the house. And
tell her to come and say hello afterwards.
I sure will.
Yeah.
November 16th, Newton Theater in Newton, New Jersey.
Yes.
The 17th, you'll be Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey. With the Renaissance Chamber, you'll be with the orchestra, right?
Yeah, that's with the orchestra again. Yep.
Wow.
Really excited about that. Yep.
And on the 18th, Terrytown Music Hall.
That's a beautiful old theater. Yeah.
You really got choked up when you were playing with the orchestra, didn't you?
Oh God, yeah. It was. There's a video. Oh yeah. Well, did you see the little outtake? Not the outtakes, but the extra reel on the DVD.
Yes.
And the one where I introduced the wrong song, and then fired myself. Oh God! But that was the first show that we did. And I get it wrong, and I get completely the wrong song, and everybody's looking around, going, "Why now? What?" Yeah, but I think it was just excitement. But of course, once the orchestra came in with "Carpet of the Sun," oh my God!
Yeah. You were choked up during that song.
Oh yeah, I kind of, I was thinking about Michael Dunford, of course, because it was his dream as well as mine to do this again, and. It's been a lot of good things going on. We did the Cruise to the Edge. We did the Moody Blues Cruise. We went to England and did some shows in England in 2016 and in 2015. We went to Europe as well, and that was quite amazing, really. So we've done really well. Somebody said the other day, have you written any more music? I do have some things that Michael was writing musical Scheherazade, and it never came to fruition. It was plagued by a lot of problems, which was very sad. But some of the music in it was phenomenal, and so if we decide that we're going to do that, do another album, it would be Michael's music. It wouldn't be. I couldn't do anybody else's. It has to be his music, Yeah,
I can imagine he's got some music hidden around somewhere.
Oh, well, he did say to us that he'd got 8 songs for another album, and when I went over there to see his wife Claire, it was 2013, the year after he passed away, we went through everything looking for these songs that he said he'd written. We couldn't find anything. They were probably still in his head,
Oh,
but I don't know if you... there's a song that Rave Tessar and I wrote called Renaissance Man. I don't know if you've heard that.
I did hear that, yes.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that with the orchestra.
Oh, wonderful.
This time, oh God, there won't be a dry eye in the house. We're doing some new. We're doing Day of the Dreamer with the orchestra this time. We're adding in Day of the Dreamer, Ocean Gypsy, opening it out. And Renaissance Man, and then we do also with the orchestra. In fact, it's only one song that's going to be without orchestra, which is Prologue. We do Symphony of Light, Mother Russia, and Grand in. And it's going to be a wonderful show. And with the new ones, can't wait to do the new ones that we're going to learn. I wish we could do it all the time.
I like how your concert finished with Ashes Are Burning without the orchestra. It was like just the band, the core band.
We did that, but I think that we may not do that this time.
Really?
We've been doing it for so long, and it's sometimes you need to change for a little bit and then come back to it later on, But I don't think we'll be doing it in the fall. Instead, we've added different songs. So it's going to be a wonderful show, though. Wonderful songs.
I noticed Joe Denizon was in the orchestra during your show.
Yeah,
I had him on the show. He's a great guy. Yeah, love Joe.
Recently?
Yeah, recently.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's Russian, but he speaks, 100% English. I mean,
did you see him on the video where I go around the orchestra and it was a rehearsal and I'm interviewing everybody?
I didn't see that part yet. No.
Okay, that's in the extra reel of footage.
Oh, the extra reel. Okay.
Yeah, because I interview him. I interview all of them, and I said anyway. He said, his wife. He said his wife had played this song to him or whatever, and he played it to me, and it played a little bit of it, and I said, "Oh, that's nice. What is it?" And it was Sounds of the Sea, but I didn't get it. So all the orchestra was laughing at him, because I didn't. Well, what's that then? It's Sounds of the Sea. Oh, sorry. But yeah, they're all fantastic people. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great musician.
That makes a difference. Yeah. There's 16 of us on stage, which is, it's a lot to deal with when you're deaf in one ear. I do have in ears, but I have to have a certain protection around me as well. Screens. We have screens at the back for the orchestra.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the show was set up wonderful. I mean, it was a great job.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked great. Yeah.
I've had 4 new grandchildren since we talked last.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
3 girls and a boy.
Oh,
so
my.
they came fast.
Gosh. Well, when did we speak last? Was that 2013 or when was that?
During Leonardo. You sang to me, Leonardo, on the phone.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I got a special treat.
You did. I remember that now. Good God.
I love that album. Wonderful
yeah.
album, and a beautiful song.
Yeah.
But by the way, Sonia, Christina, she gives her love back to you. We just had her on the show. I love her.
Oh yes. Good.
She's awesome.
Good.
I didn't realize you guys toured together not long ago, right? In
that
England?
was 2016. 16. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That must have been a great show. Both of you together.
It was. Yeah.
And you mentioned the Buxton Opera House. It's such a beautiful, magnificent place.
That's the place where my dream started when I was a little girl, and my uncle and auntie and cousins were all in light opera in an amateur operatic society, and the Buxton Opera House was the home of that. And whenever I went on holiday, stayed with them, it was usually when they were doing some kind of production, and I used to get ticket, obviously, and I'd sit in this box. You can imagine this. It's an incredible, beautiful. Buxton is a spa town, and it's in a valley with all these beautiful hills and moors around it. And the opera house is just stunning. And so I used to sit in this little box and watch, my auntie and uncle sing, and I just loved Gilbert and Sullivan operettas, like the Mikado and all that. Oh my God! And then my dream was one day when I started singing was to sing in the opera house, and I got to do it.
That's amazing.
I think we're going to be going back there actually in the spring.
That's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Lots of history.
Yeah, there's some beautiful towns like that. That are just gorgeous. Yeah.
And I like your description of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and you said it looked like a space station.
Oh, good God! It was amazing. Yeah. It's an old steelworks, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the buildings around it for maybe a couple of miles are they're kind of spooky actually, and some of them are lit up, and you think, why are they lit up? Because there's nothing there except the building, an old building with old windows. But they've got a big casino there now, big Sands Casino.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. That's on the other side. Sands is it's part of the whole complex, really, just a bit further over. But what an amazing place! So it was a great place to play.
Yeah, I like to see that. I saw part of the on YouTube. YouTube's got everything,
I know.
They've got so much Renaissance stuff. It's amazing. It's great.
It's all right unless you do a night when you're off a bit.
Yeah.
That's true. That's when it's kind of. But when we went to Brazil last year, I was so excited because I've been before with my band and several different projects. But Renaissance had never been there. It was like being the Beatles. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. And what I decided to do was, before we did Ashes Are Burning, we did the first encore. I decided that we would do a Brazilian song, so we did Corcovado, and by Tom Jobim. And not Corcovado, Quiet Nights of Quiet Stars, beg your pardon.
Right.
And Oh my God, they went crazy, and it was wonderful to do it because it was like a tribute to them as well. You know, they were so surprised, and it was great. It was very memorable to go there, and we went to Argentina as well. Yeah, I've been everywhere, I guess. A lot of places. Some places I'd like to go to. I'd like to play New Zealand and Australia. Where else?
Have
Norway.
You been to Australia before?
Never been to Australia. I have a niece that lives there. I've never been there. I haven't been to Sweden or Norway. That would be nice.
Right. How about Amsterdam?
But we played in Amsterdam in the 70s.
Yeah, they're a good
We played
audience.
Gosh, where did we play in Holland this time? We did play somewhere, and I can't remember where it was. Gosh. Yeah, we played in Holland. We were supposed to play in Germany one show, and the day of the show, I got a throat infection that fell on me so quickly that within half an hour, I had no voice. We had to cancel it.
Oh, my goodness.
And people have come from all over Europe to see us. The place was sold out, 400 people in this little, it was kind of a little concert theatre. And it was awful because people were crying.
Oh, my goodness.
They'd all traveled hundreds of miles to get there to see this show. And I had no voice. It's completely gone.
Did you ever go back after that?
No. Because we can't just go over and do one show.
Right.
You know, maybe we could do something if we go over to Germany. If we go next spring, God willing, is to try and fit that in somehow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I told Sonia that you and her and Ian Anderson would have been awesome on Game of Thrones.
Doing what?
Are you a fan of Game of Thrones?
Well, I don't know. I've never watched it really. No.
Oh, you never saw it?
No. Well, it's not. You know, I don't watch much television because I paint a lot, and when I'm not painting, you know, if I do watch television, I usually put an old movie on. So I don't watch things regularly because my life isn't regular. And I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. I mean, I wouldn't, honestly. I mean, I love my life, and I wouldn't change anything. But, you know, I haven't had a family, you know, I have no children. And so that is the only regret, really, that I don't have any children that I could pass something on to.
Right.
You know? But it was not my path, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Not my path.
I remember you telling me that you had your past life analysis done and was told that in a previous lifetime you were Mary, Queen of Scots. Remember that?
I do.
And you were also in another lifetime, Anna of Bohemia, Richard II's wife?
Yeah.
And you know, you got to watch the movie. There's a Mary, Queen of Scots coming to the theaters.
Oh, is
got to
there?
see that.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Look it up on
I got
Google.
involved with Windsor Castle, and a friend of mine worked there in St. George's House, and where the chapel is in the grounds of Windsor Castle. And the people in the office there knew that I was a singer, and somebody they were trying to raise the money for the choir that St. George's, the Windsor choir, the Windsor choir boys school that they had in the grounds, and the school. Yeah, it was a school for the choir, and they needed to put an extension. They need to raise some money, and I don't know why they didn't ask the Queen because she's the richest woman in the world. But anyway, I don't know. But anyway, so they said that I was approached. Would I consider putting on a concert? Mm-hmm. And so I started looking around at doing a concert. I got somebody else involved, which I shouldn't have done because he messed it up in the end because there's a little bit of greed came in there. It started to move away from what it was about, and I'm not into that kind of thing.
Right.
You know, I don't do things for money like that. I just want to help.
Sure, I'm the same way. I'm like you.
Yeah. I mean, I was already in touch with Billy Joel's people and all kinds of people. You know, I was getting in touch with, and then it all went to pot. We had a meeting. I became friends. The good thing about it was the governor of the castle at the time was called Sir Patrick Palmer, and he was an admiral. And
right.
I went to meet him and had lunch with his wife, Lady Joanna, in the Norman Tower in Windsor Castle, which is where he lived. And that experience was phenomenal. I've got a picture of him on my Facebook page, in all his regalia and his admiral's hat and everything. And he was a wonderful man, and that's how I met him, because through my friend Judith, and we were both invited, just to talk about everything in there. And the Queen used to pop in for tea and everything, apparently, into their place, because he was second to the Queen as far as ruling the castle. The Queen and then the governor. He was the governor. He passed away, sadly. And I was still in touch with his wife, and his wife wrote to me after he passed away and said that they were playing Blessing in Disguise. And he was.
I love medieval castles.
Yeah,
I mean, there's something in my past,
and
it could be because my background is my family was from Spain. So of course there's a lot of history there. My dad's family was from Syria, from Aleppo. So that goes way back as well.
Wow.
But I love medieval castles. I love Windsor. I saw a special on Windsor, and the big, preparation they make for Easter Court, which is a month over Easter, March through April, and just the festivities and the tradition that is kept up.
I think when anybody's drawn to something very, very strongly, it's because they were there at some point in their life.
I think so.
Life.
I think, I heard we had a count in our family back in Spain. Yeah, we had a count, and they were from from Asturias, and also from Catalonia, Spain. So there's castles there too. But I wanted to take a castle tour of all of Europe. I would love that.
Oh yes, I've had some friends that have done that. Oh my God, yeah.
Love
you can stay in the castles as well. It costs you, but I mean, what an experience.
That would be tremendous. Have you ever done a traced your family history?
You know what? Not really. A friend of mine, in fact, it's my accountant, is a friend. He does it for a hobby, and he got back to 1800 and something or other. But to take it any further, you have to pay to get certain, information. Not to him, but that it's difficult to get further without. They always make it difficult, don't they, when people want to do stuff like that. But no, I maybe one day I will. There are a few Haslams over here, though. I think
really?
there's a Haslam in the government, isn't there?
Yes.
Down south.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, be careful,
the reason why I said you, I thought you would be great at Game of Thrones. It's about the medieval times and the queens and the castles. To me, you would make a great queen. You look like a queen, a good queen.
At least I'm not an old queen.
No,
a really old queen. Well, hopefully, I'm not an old queen.
No,
Funny enough, I was watching Helen Mirren. That came on out of the blue
a
couple of days ago, and I watched it. I've seen it before, but she did an amazing job. She's wonderful. What a great actress.
She is wonderful.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Yeah. She really is.
And I did almost. I had a kind of a brush with almost Diana, Princess Diana.
When really?
I was doing my concert, Lilies in the Field.
Yes.
That was 1997, I think, at Irving Plaza. Do you remember that? And Justin Hayward was on it, and Roy Wood flew in, and Gary Brooker and Phoebe Snow.
Yep.
You know about that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, yeah. When I was doing all that, I was. Oh gosh, was it the one at Windsor Castle? No, it wasn't the one at Windsor Castle. It was it was that, and I wrote to Diana I can't remember what for, because obviously she's not going to perform. But I wrote to her, and you can write a letter to the Queen or anybody, but if you don't know how to write a letter, you have to put your return address and everything in a completely weird way on the envelope for it to get through. It's
really?
Almost like it's yeah. But anyway, it got through because I was told how to do it, and I got a letter back from her. Let's see where it is. I think I might have it in front of me right here. Hang on a second. I was looking. Whenever I get kind of upset when there's anything around that's, reminds you of what... Oh, yeah, here we go. I've got a letter from St. James's Palace, London, SW1A, from the office of Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales, 29th of August, 1995.
Oh, wow.
Now, dear Annie Haslam, the Princess of Wales has asked me to thank you for your letter and enclosures.
Uh-huh.
Her Royal Highness was interested to read your letter, but regrets she is unable to become personally involved. Her Royal Highness receives many similar letters each day and is sadly unable to help in every concern. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry to send you this disappointing reply. Nevertheless, the Princess of Wales has asked me to send you her very best wishes. Yours sincerely, Maureen A. Stevens.
That was nice.
Wasn't that nice?
Nice response. Yeah, very nice response.
Yeah. Yeah, I kept the letters I got.
She would have liked you.
Pardon?
She would have liked you.
Yeah, we would have got on well.
Buddies. Yeah, I think
we would have done. There's a lot of people in my life that I wish I could have met, and I almost met, but something else would happen that would take it away from me, which is fine. I believe that everything has a course and a reason, and you know.
Think you're right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you? There's been some strange things happening in Bucks County. Did you hear about that? The sonic booms or noises in the middle of the night that were happening there? It was all over the news.
When was this?
This was, I think, in April, the first quarter of this year. They say
Really?
residents were waking up in the middle of the night because there's booming noises in the area. They even got the FBI after it. They can't find what it is.
Could be UFO related.
It could be. I mean, very strange. They never found out what it was, and that was in
I know
Bucks County.
something happened here, but it was the year before, and my boyfriend was outside. I think we were both. Yeah, and we heard something extremely strange like that, and. It could be some kind of test. I can't remember what he said, but we don't know what's going on, do we?
We don't.
That's the
and the
sad
government's
thing.
hiding it from us.
When 9/11 happened, my phone was off for days, and I called. I was trying to get hold of my friend Judith because she lived in Windsor, not far from the airport, and
right.
Nobody knew what was going to be happening. Everybody was a bit scared, and I called her up and got through one day, and in the background of our conversation, as she noticed it, was Morse code.
Oh, really?
Morse code, and behind our conversation, I said, Judith, I think we better get off, because she was still working at the castle then, I think. I said, I think we better get off the phone. I'm going to call up the FBI. I think it was the FBI. I think it would be the FBI, wouldn't it? And I called the local airport as well. And I said, Judith, I think you should do the same. I think you should call somebody over there and just tell them. It might mean nothing, but of course, when that happened, there were so many crank calls and people making things up, like they do, the crazy people, the nutcases. And I called the local airport. I think I did that first, but they didn't really seem to be all that bothered, What can you do? It's like...
Yeah.
So I called the FBI, and same thing, really. They kind of took the information down, and they might have they might have looked into it. I don't know. They're probably not going to tell you, are they? That's the thing.
No. They say there were reports from Quakertown to Coopersburg.
Really?
Yeah. And hundreds and hundreds of people heard this thing, and nobody knows. Yeah, that was a big thing.
I'm going to have to look online and see.
Look it up.
It's like Bucks County as well, which is where I am.
Yes. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. I'm wondering what that is.
And was it last year or this year?
It was this year.
Really? And you said May or April?
I think it was the article was posted in April 23rd, 2018. So. Yeah, it was probably around April when it happened.
I'm going to write this down. Have a look.
It was a big deal. Yeah. I'm a believer in UFOs, and I talked to Sonia about this. She says she started laughing because people are silly to think that we're the only ones in this great big universe. So obviously she knows we've been visited, and I believe it 100%. That they might even be here. They're on Earth already, I think.
Yeah.
But pretty soon we'll know the truth, I think. I think it's a money thing. That's why we don't know. And, we're worried about free energy.
I think I've got one on tape. I told you that before.
Oh, really? You have one on tape?
When I was in Brazil, yeah.
Wow, Brazil.
I took it to my friend Inside Edition, who was a producer there. And I had a high 8 camera, and it was like 15 minutes before we went on stage in Petrópolis in Brazil. And I went there with David Bigley, and this first time I went, just the two of us, actually. And we did it was wonderful. It was a very, the start of everything for us in Brazil again, that's for sure. And, I was outside, and there was a lovely cathedral in this place, this little town, and it's about 2 hours from Rio de Janeiro, up in the mountains, and I thought, the sky looks lovely in the cathedral. I'm just going to go get my camera and just take a picture, a little bit of video quickly before I went on stage. And so, that wasn't it. I was standing. That's right. That was one of the other shows. But this happened here at this place, Petrópolis, and I'm out there doing my breathing exercise. Is that right? That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think why I'll be standing out there videoing. And I looked up in the sky and I said, "Whoa!" There was my friend Carlos and David Biglin and some other people just before we went down to start the show. And this little mound actually, and right by the dressing rooms outside, and I was looking at the sky, and I said, "Whoa, look at that! It looks like a UFO." David Biglin said, "That's not, but that is." And he moved over. He said, "Look up there!" And there was this pink light that was moving steadily across the sky. It wasn't flashing. And I ran and got my video camera, and I filmed it on we used my friend Carlos as a tripod. And he was shaking because he said, "Oh, Annie, I'm nervous." I said, "Oh, stop it. Be a man. Keep still." And I so that when I got it on tape, it was all over the place. It was moving all over. So anyway, when I got back home, I called my friend and I said, "Can I come in?" Because Inside Edition were the people that, when I did the Lilies in the Field benefit show, they put me on Inside Edition. They showed the clip of the show and all that kind of stuff, and I became friends with the producer. And I went up there, and he took us into an editing suite with another guy there was an expert on UFOs, and the guy who was doing it, actually, the engineer said, "Oh, I don't believe in them, blah, 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 blah." I thought, "Oh, here we go, got another one of them."
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Anyway, so the weirdest thing was we got it to a point where he could steady it, and stop it, and it was just before it became completely sharp. Right. It was a face in the sky. And it was like, the Mayan, the very square looks of the faces and the carvings and the stone carvings in the arenas and whatever they used to do. They were but it looked like Jesus. And so, and we all said, it's a something face in the sky. I'm not going to say the word.
You need to write a song about that.
Yeah, it's a something in the sky. It's a something face in the sky. But I don't want to say that word because it's rude. Anyway,
Okay.
we were all in disbelief, and he turned the knob one more, and then it was a UFO. It was pink on the top, pale pink, and dark pink on the bottom. And this other guy said, "Yeah, they're very, very common in Brazil. That's what it is."
Yeah, they are. They are common in Brazil.
He said that's what it was. It's UFO, and they're very common in Brazil.
Yep.
And so there's,
I had a great conversation with Michael Pinder.
Oh yeah.
With Blues, and he's a big believer. They used to call him Moon Boy. That was his.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was his nickname when he was a kid because he was so much. He saw a whole fleet of them.
Really?
A whole fleet of them. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I tell you, do you remember Reg Presley from the Trogs?
Oh, of course. I met him. I met him backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very close friend of Colin Andrews. Colin Andrews is the guy who's the foremost expert on crop circles. And he's an English guy. He lives in Connecticut, and he's the one who coined the phrase crop circles. He's the one, and he's got several books out, Colin Andrews. And he was very close with Reg Presley, and he was really, really into all that. He's seen all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, crop circles are another amazing phenomenon. I mean, they're not all man-made. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the other music I've seen on YouTube that I've never seen before of you doing. I saw you doing Ripples, the Genesis cover.
Yes.
You do a fantastic job of that because that's a tough song to sing.
Oh
and
God,
that's one of my favorite
wonderful.
Genesis
I love
songs.
it, and I like it because it's not too high. I like singing low down as well with my voice because it sounds very different. Yeah.
You did a marvelous job on that, and your Ave Maria. Oh my gosh, I've never heard you sing that.
I do it at my Christmas concerts.
On your Christmas concert, yeah, they sang that at my wedding. I would have loved to have you sing it at my wedding. And you did a marvelous job on Wishing on a Star, which I've never seen before.
Oh my God, I used to love singing that because
Really?
it was so the high notes are very easy for me, and so I love to get to a point where it's not a struggle. It's hard. I like, oh God, am I going to reach that note? I know I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? And
I don't know how you do
I used to love doing that. I did that with my solo band, of course.
And Sisters was another really
that's brilliant,
beautiful song.
isn't it? Yeah.
I've never heard too many people hit high notes like you. The only other person I've heard, Minnie Riperton, who was amazing.
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved her. Yeah. I mean, Sarah Brightman. But Sarah, I mean, it's funny because she was in a dance group called Hot Gossip, I think it was, wasn't it?
Right.
And when we did Top of the Pops, they were doing she was dancing on there. But I didn't know that at the time, you know. And she probably didn't know she was going to end up a singer either.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Yeah. Your work with Steve Howe's also amazing. You know, into the turn of the century tribute.
Yeah, it's a shame the what we wrote together didn't see the light of day because we were working together in England after the Lilies in the Field benefit. About 2 months after, I went over to England and worked with him on some new songs, doing an album together. And unfortunately, the phone call came when I was there and we were working, and it was John asking, telling Steve that he wanted to get the band back together again, and so that was the end of our project. Really, it never saw the light of day.
That's
and
horrible.
it was really wonderful. Yeah, I've got a demo tape of it somewhere, and I found a couple of songs the other day, but I can't find the others. It's just a memory in my mind, But,
so it was never released as a
never
an
released.
album?
Because we only did demos. We didn't do final recording.
Right.
But we did. Lilies in the Field was a final recording, of course, and that came out beautiful.
Maybe you can revisit that with Steve. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, there's too much going on.
Yeah,
we've both
like
got too much going on. So to do it again, That's not going to happen. Yeah.
Is it possible for you and John Anderson to do a duet? The reason I ask is, his voice is very high as well. Is that,
it was mentioned to him, but I don't think he was into it. It was actually talked about. I would do it, but I don't think he would. I don't think he was interested.
I've had John on the show several times.
Yeah, no, he's no.
Yeah.
I think it's a personality, not my personality, but personality thing. Like a little competitive thing, which I don't get. I mean, a lot of female singers in the music business are so competitive, so rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one that I really liked was Sandy Denny. She was wonderful from Fairport Convention.
Yeah.
And she was lovely to me, but some of the others are really horrible. Yeah.
Well, you and Sonia get along.
Really, just because they just. Why? I don't understand why they're in the music business if they're competitive. I thought the music business was to make music for the fans, of people to hear your music, not to be jealous or worry about somebody else in another band. What's that about?
Yeah.
What's your life and your career got to do with anybody else?
Exactly.
I don't get it, but there you go.
Well, most people in your generation, they were in awe of other musicians, and when they met them, it was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
So I remember John Anderson telling me how nervous he was to meet George Harrison. And,
right.
Ozzy Osbourne, another one that was, when he met the Paul McCartney, he went to pieces.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I was when I did that Angels Cry, Justin Hayward for my Epic Records album, and he suggested that he came in to put acoustic guitar on it in London, I think it was, a studio in London, and then he said, well, why don't we sing the chorus together? I thought, gulp. Well, apart from, I didn't feel intimidated. He wasn't that kind of. Sometimes, though, when you're in the presence of somebody that's got, there's certain people that got charisma. Roy Wood's got it. Pete Townsend has this. Paul McCartney has. I mean, I just sit and talk to him. It's like, zzz, you feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a special energy. It's a genius energy. That's what it is. And so he comes in, but he looks, a very handsome man, very tall. And I thought, I had to stand on a box. So I had to stand on a box so that we would be the same height, And then I was nervous, and I was standing on a box, and we did it. It was great, but I understand when people meet somebody, and I got to meet. I did a painting for Dolly Parton. A friend of mine was working. Yeah, a friend of mine was Al Lewis. Is a drummer, and he was in a band called Star Castle. That's how I met him originally.
Oh yeah, sure. I remember Star Castle.
And then he became a tour manager, stage manager for Dolly Parton, and after I did this thing with Star Castle, I did a guest thing with them. Al invited me because he said he was going to be working with Dolly and doing stage management work. Would you like to come to the show? And so I thought, and immediately I thought, I got to do a painting for Dolly Parton. I had to do it, and she loved butterflies, so I did, and she loves lavender. So this painting just flew out of me. Pardon the pun. And and I had it framed, and I took it with me. It was Atlantic City, not quite sure if it was Borgata. It was one of the big ones anyway. It sold out. And I took my friend Pinky, and we got there, and we got backstage passes, and I met Dolly's friend, who she used to go to school with, apparently. And what was the story? That when Dolly became a singer, she said, and the other girl went in the army, apparently, I think, said, when I'm famous, the famous singer, I want you to come and work with me. And that's what happened. And she's with her. She never goes anywhere without this woman. And she sits on the side of the stage every night. And you can't get to Dolly without going to this. And she was lovely. And it was arranged that I give the painting to Dolly in the break, and it would be backstage somehow. But before then, I had to go to the production office and to be introduced and to say, and Al said, "This is my friend Annie, and she's got a painting for Dolly." And so he said, "Well, what does she want for it? How much does she want for it?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I don't want anything for it. What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, you must want something." I said, "No, it's a gift." Because everybody wants something from her.
I know.
You know, not particularly money, maybe, or maybe people do because you write to her and say, "Can you give me some money because you're rich?" But everybody wants an autograph or a photograph or something. And so anyway, I said, "I don't want anything." We left it with him, and he was going to give it to her. I was going to give it to her. If what happened was, in the intermission, it was put into her dressing room. So anyway, at the intermission, I went back, and the show was fantastic. And we watched the first half from the side of the stage, and then before she saw the painting, before she went on stage, I was at the side of the stage with this lady and me and Pinky and somebody else. And Dolly came through the other side. It was a big stage, and she came through a door that was like a stage door, inside the stage door that probably went to the dressing rooms or whatever. But she came out of that door, and she went to another room to change afterwards, the other direction. But she came out, she was wearing a white dress, and she looked like an angel. Oh, my God. And my heart was jumping, fluttering. I've never experienced anything like it. I swear I saw a white light around her, this woman. Because she does so much good with her money.
She does.
She's
does.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And her energy is strong and vibrant, and it's good, you know. And she came over to me and Pinky. It was straight over to us and said, "Would you like a photograph with me?" You know. And she stood in between us, and she got 5-inch heels, and she wasn't as tall as me then. And I put my arm around her, and it kind of she was like so. You know, she put her arms around us. It was amazing. But we never got the picture because the film got stuck in the camera, apparently.
Oh, man.
It wasn't a digital camera. Somebody took the picture. Yeah. You never got that picture. But anyway, she was lovely, and so didn't see her then. She doesn't know about the painting because she hadn't seen it. And then when it came, we saw her from the side of the stage, and then halfway through, when they had the intermission, she went into a room. She went, actually, let me think about this. Yeah, she went into a room that was close to the side of the stage to change into a next outfit. And I thought, oh, she's not coming out. And then they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats." And I thought, oh, I'm not going to see her. So she comes out of the room. Pinky and I were just resting on these flight cases about 20 feet away from her, I would say. She looks over and she says, "Who gave me that painting? Who did this painting?" And my friend Pinky pointed to me. And she came over and she threw her arms around me. She said, "Oh, my God." She said, "Thank you so much. Oh, my God." She was completely shocked. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Oh, my God, thank you so." And she put her arms completely around me, so I put my arms around her. It was like there was nothing of her at all. Amazing. And as so she left and thanked me again. And then she walked over to this ramp, walked up the ramp. As she was going up the ramp, she was saying, "Oh, my God, thank you." And apparently it's hanging up in her home. She's got a home in California, and somebody told me via Al, you know, that they tell Annie that the painting's hanging up in Dolly's house in California.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's about, oh, God, I got them full of them. You know.
I did a conference call with her, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmy Lou Harris.
Wow.
But I didn't get picked to ask her a question. Usually I don't do those things because I like to do one-on-one, and she was promoting an album with all the her and Emmy Lou Harris and Linda Ronstadt. But it was funny to hear them laughing and teasing each other on the phone.
They did an album together, didn't they?
Yes, yeah, they did several albums together. Yeah.
Very good. I've got one of them. I know it was very good. Yeah, it was a wonderful spirit. Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
You and Patrick Mraz are good friends, and I've had Patrick on the show many a times. He's a good guy. I think he lives over here in Clearwater, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's down there in Florida somewhere.
But he told me that he was actually in the studio with Dolly, with Salvador Dali, because he
really?
Yes. He did. Whoa. He did work for Dolly, and he was living right around that area. He was actually a
Did you say Dolly or Dali?
Oh, not Dolly Parton, Salvador Dali.
That's what. Well, that's what I thought. I went, "Wow, Dolly," and I thought, "Oh, does he mean Dolly?" Oh,
Speaking
my.
of Dolly.
Wow, I think he might have told me that. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, you got to talk to him about that. He was actually
Yeah.
in the studio, and he was good friends with the family when he was living in Spain. Because
Wow.
he's also from where my parents were from, in that same area. So, yeah, that was interesting when he told me he was actually in the studio. Because that's
Oh, my.
pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah. His art is really weird, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. I just
very,
watched
very
on the plane coming back from Japan actually because I couldn't sleep. Was a Genius series? National Geographic, I think, put it out, and it's Antonio Banderas as Picasso.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Really, I like him.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I was glued to it. Yeah, it was brilliant. It's about 10 episodes. I saw 7 on the plane and I had to buy 3 on the TV when I got back. And the last.
Well, I know your hero's Leonardo for sure.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, whenever I sing that song, he's with me on stage. When I sing that first part, I feel like. I feel like he's inside me, but that sounds rude, and I don't mean it like that at all. But I feel like he's part of me. And sometimes I do. I can do a painting, and I think, oh my God, look at this, and it looks like a piece of velvet I just painted, and it was just like one whoosh, and it looked like a piece of velvet that somebody had been working on for hours. Yeah. So there's no doubt in my mind that it's a big connection there.
I love your paintings. I really love
thank
your
you.
paintings.
Annie, sorry.
Here's your final question today,
yes.
and I've asked you this before,
right.
but now that we're on radio, I have to ask it again for the radio audience.
Yes.
If you had a Field of Dreams wish to sing, collaborate with anyone from the past or future, who would that be? Sonia said David Bowie.
Right. Well, I know where I would like to sing. I'm trying to think who I'd want. I would like to sing on top of a mountaintop in either Tibet. Really, is the place for some reason. It's always in my mind. Yeah, just to go to the top of the mountain and just sing at the top. Yep. Gosh. Well, let me think about it. Gosh. Can
Annie
I have more
Haslam,
than one?
live from Tibet.
Sorry?
Annie Haslam, live from Tibet. You should do that.
Yeah, I would love to do it. But you know what? I looked into going into Tibet. My boyfriend and I wanted to go somewhere different, and
right.
We're probably going to end up, hopefully, going to Iceland at some point because it's just so beautiful, and I need to see those northern lights,
Yeah,
but let me think. Oh gosh. Let me think. Oh gosh. You put me on the spot. There's several, I absolutely.
They could have passed on.
I absolutely adored Elvis Presley's voice.
Elvis, really?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and also because he started. My brother. I heard that when my brother was starting to sing, because that's all he listened to. My brother Michael, and then he ended up as a singer himself. That managed by Brian Epstein.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You and Elvis.
Me and Elvis. Well, Placido Domingo would be nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I know that I could do it, and I'm not an opera singer, but I know that I could do whatever was needed for it. So I think Placido Domingo.
Huh.
Yeah, and in fact, when we were working at Abbey Road, He was in the big studio there, and he was conducting, I think, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. He was conducting it.
Really?
Yeah. And it might be, because I've talked to somebody else about this, and that particular session may have been one that Alan Parsons did, because Alan Parsons was an engineer in Abbey Road Studios. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, he worked with Pink Floyd on Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah. So somebody said they think that was the session that he might have done, Alan Parsons might have done.
How about Pavarotti?
Yeah, Pavarotti, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Tell me about your brother real quick. I know he... Did he tour with the Beatles?
He did. Well, yeah, he was discovered. He was singing in a club in Bolton, and this woman wrote to a newspaper, and this guy who she wrote to, because she was so adamant about in this letter that Michael, somebody's got to see them. You have to come up and see this guy. It's this lad, you know. And so he took. It was called Godfrey Wynne, and he took his friend Brian Epstein up to Bolton, to this, I think it's the White Hart pub or something like that. And my brother was singing, and he signed him up there and then. And he was on, the pop, Thank You Lucky Stars and those kind of things that were on TV. Right. And the Beatles, I think, did 2 Christmas shows. They might have done 3, but I think my brother was on 2 of them. And like Dionne Warwick was on the same bill, and the Moody Blues was on another one, actually. I keep forgetting to mention that to Justin, actually. He was, he had a single, what's he called? Burt Bacharach wrote the song for him. George Martin produced him. He did 2 singles. But unfortunately for my brother Michael, and his voice was a cross between Roy Orbison and Elvis. His voice is phenomenal. It's just amazing. You can hear us singing together on YouTube. Right. We sing somewhere out there together. We did it on a karaoke machine in his living room when I was recovering from cancer. And it was pouring with rain outside as we were in England, as I was visiting. But anyway, it was a time when the Beatles were starting to get so big, and Brian couldn't keep it. He couldn't deal with everybody that he was taking on. He was signing up all these different acts, and he had to let my brother go. And a guy called Robert Stigwood.
The great Robert Stigwood.
Very famous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know this, because if I'd have known this, I would have forced my brother into going to see him. Apparently, he wanted my brother. He wanted to get together with my brother in view to management. And my brother was so devastated by being let go by Brian that he gave up and went back up to Bolton. Yeah. And he turned down Robert Stigwood.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's a shame. My father was my father had the most incredible voice as well. But it wasn't meant to be for him, because he was a dad. He didn't have anybody. He only had me, who was like a little girl. I only knew inside how well he could sing, and then when I think about it later on, I know I can hear it. I can hear his voice. He was a tenor. His voice was phenomenal.
How about your mom?
Know it,
Was she a singer too?
Sorry?
Was Mom a singer too?
No, she wasn't. No.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't a singer. She was a great cook, and she was lovely. My mom was very lovely. Yeah, my brother Keith was a brilliant artist, and then he became a Hare Krishna, and he's been a Hare Krishna for many, many years now. Yeah, he's happy,
Was there a song that was meant for your brother, and they gave it to Paul Anka instead, or something like that? A Burt Bacharach song.
There was a song that he did that I think it was called This Dream, and I think was it Anthony Newley, or I know there was one of the songs that was written for somebody else that Michael covered, and it could have been This Dream, which is a B-side. But yeah, his songs. Yeah, he did a song. I think they're on YouTube. One's called "My Heart Won't Say Goodbye." Oh my God! Like, yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube with a picture of him. And "I've Got to Get a Hold of Myself" is another one. They were and then the B-sides were "This Dream," and the other one was "There Goes the Forgotten Man," which I thought, oh, I don't like that. And he did it. I just don't know. Isn't that funny? I kind of got a gut feeling, but I didn't know what it was at the time. But yeah, he was, but he carried on singing, but he just, I think he probably felt that he'd got to the top, and where could he go now, but he could have gone further with Robert Stigwood, most definitely.
Well, was he? Did John Lennon push him in the orchestra pit by accident or something? Was that him? That's
no, I don't think
thing
so.
I heard of. Okay. Okay, I heard. You hear these things around the internet.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that one. But my brother said they used to go out for dinner, and they were crazy. He said they were all crazy.
Yeah, I could believe it.
Crazy things.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably never stopped laughing. I met Paul McCartney, you know that, because I told you that before as well. That was another incredible. And I met Ringo. Who did I meet with? Harry Nilsson. Yeah.
Yep,
when I look back, I've been blessed. I've met some amazing people, in very odd circumstances. And then, of course, Roy Wood was my fiancé, like he's a genius as well.
Roy Wood. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a genius. Yeah, we're still friends.
Yeah, he is. He sure is.
Yeah.
Annie, do you have anything else you want to add? I think we covered the new video.
The band's still alive. We've got this fabulous new DVD out that's going to be available at any minute now. It should be already. It's going to be on Amazon.
It's out.
Throughout. It's
out.
It's out. Amazon.
It's out now.
It's out in Europe and Japan. Asia on Amazon, but we're trying to put it up, but we're having difficulty with it right now. But it's going to be available any minute. It's they've got all the DVDs there and everything. But if anybody wants anything signed, I can do that as well. That's going to be available on the site. And we got these shows coming up. And if anybody's in Pennsylvania listening to this, then we've got my art show this coming Saturday in New Hope, Pennsylvania. The band sounds better. It's not fair to say better because the old band was phenomenal as well. It's just in a different way. You know what I mean? They're brilliant. It's just a brilliant band. And it sounds more like even without the orchestra, we sound like an orchestra because of the technology that we're using. And we've got 5 strong singers in the band, which makes such a difference.
And you have not changed a bit. You've only gotten better. You haven't changed a bit. You've gotten better.
Yeah, I feel, and my voice is pretty strong. I'm amazed, really. Everybody loves my paintings. I take the little paintings to the shows, and I always sell them all. People collecting my artwork now, and because it's not out of people's reach. And I've got my website, anniehaslam.com. My artwork, and Facebook page is Annie Haslam Art, and the Renaissance Facebook page is Renaissance Touring, and we have a website, renaissancetouring.com, where we're always putting things up there, and we're still alive and kicking. I hope that we're going to be able to come down to Florida again soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. And
we've got a brand new in Sarasota. We have an arts, a performing arts center called the Van Wezel, and they're thinking about redoing the whole thing now, and it's going to be like the Kennedy Center #2 is what they're calling it. So that'll be a perfect place for Renaissance to perform. Yeah.
Wow.
Right by the water.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
Lovely.
That'll be perfect
lovely.
for you. Annie, thank you so much. It's always great talking to you. You're
thank you,
I feel
Ray.
like you're one of my best friends.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on for hours. I'm terrible.
I know.
I've got so much to say.
Well, so could I.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. And it's interesting for people, to hear different stories as well.
One day you should do a, one of those where you do an intimate show. And then you have questions from the audience, like Greg Lake did.
Right.
Greg Lake did that I forgot what he called it. I talked to Greg about it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's interesting. People love those shows too.
Yeah. Well, we're doing. When we did the Indiegogo project, we offered some house concerts, and me and Rabe, we do like it's mostly my solo stuff actually, so with some Renaissance stuff because there's not much you can do with two people, you know.
Right.
Especially as I don't play anything at all, but and we find that's a lot of fun, and then people got questions. Yeah. No, yeah. But I prefer playing with orchestras.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm in my element. It's like incredible, really. Yeah.
When I see Yes or the Moody Blues play with an orchestra, it's like, phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like that's the way the music should be played with these great musicians in the background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Annie, thank you very much again. I'll send you all the links to the interview, and we'll put this on YouTube, iTunes. It'll be all over the place for you.
Oh, wonderful!
So
when you let me know, and I'll put it on our social media, as they call it.
Yep, social media.
Yeah. Okay, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. We love you.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Purchase a brand new DVD CD set from Renaissance entitled A Symphonic Journey at Amazon.com. The DVD was filmed in October of 2017 and included, for the first time, the addition of the Renaissance Chamber Orchestra, a hand-picked group of 10 musicians, including strings, woodwind, brass, and percussion. For this new DVD, the band returned to the Keswick Theater, this time employing the use of track and boom-mounted cameras to create more up-close and personal shots of the band and orchestra. The concert also featured large screen projections of original paintings by Annie Haslam with corresponding titles to each song performed through the concert. The DVD 2-CD set should be available now from Amazon USA, Europe, and Japan. Also, Annie has signed copies, and it will be available through the band's website, www.renaissancetouring.com. You can learn more about the band by visiting that very website, www.renaissancetouring.com, facebook.com/renaissancetouring, or Annie's website at www.anniehaslam.com, and also facebook.com/AnnieHaslamArt. Very special thanks to the dynamic duo of Doug and Don Newsom of BBS Radio for making the magic happen for each and every broadcast of Interviewing the Legends. If you have comments or suggestions for the show, contact me directly at interviewingthelegends@gmail.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Interviewing the Legends with Ray Shasho, for the very latest interviews. It's real news, people. And don't forget to purchase a copy of my book entitled Check the G's, the true story of an eclectic American family and their wacky family business. Available now at Amazon.com. I promise you will live it. And there's a trailer out there, a brand new trailer that I've concocted, and it's out on YouTube, and you can see it and learn a little bit more about the book. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on PBS Radio, Station 1.